Hi, Jules from Jude here, and I'm going to show everyone how to do a Skinner blend, which is really cool because it's transitioning colors together. There's a lot you can do with it. You can make a lot of canes with it. You can do a lot of flowers with it. You can do petals. You can use them in your sculptures. You can use them in different ways. And what we're doing here is we're going to try to show you all of the excuse me, canes and whatnot before we start working with it. I'm going to do a lot of pendants and jewelry with it hopefully in the future here, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So come on down here and take a look. I've already conditioned my white. That's this here. As I don't know, I hope that's not blending in too much, and that is Craft Smart. And this is Sculpey Fuchsia Pearl, and I already conditioned my machine, and I'm going to finish conditioning this clay. I want you to understand that I conditioned the white already because it took so long, and sometimes it does take long to condition. So since we really are on somewhat of a time frame here with these videos, at this time I just cut a few corners, but this is how you condition your clay. If you hadn't seen it in other videos, which I'm sure you have. So now I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. We got a little bit of white here. It's all going to be cut out anyway, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of measure this. It's my shortcut to somewhat measuring our imprecise blends. So what I'm doing here is getting us a nice even cut for the fuchsia, which is a beautiful color, and it's going to look so nice once it's blended all together. And let me show you how this works as quick as possible, because we're going to have to send this through the machine. And some people say 40-50 times, some people say less, and I'll be honest with you, it really depends on the look that you like, what you're going for. And once I do get the look I'm looking for, I'm going to show you a couple canes that you can make, and your canes can be saved for what you're ready to use them for in the future. And that is kind of what we will be doing here soon. That's going to be thick. I want you to see it's pretty thick. It's not a thin blend, but I like it like that. So we've cut that in half. Let's do it again. Look, with the white, you're going to cut that in half diagonally, and then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to put them together, and they're going to form another square. Just watch how I do that on that one. And this one wants to be stubborn, so we'll take him apart and place that down the proper way. Okay, so now we are back to our square. See? You push these together like this, like so, because we're going to put them through our pasta machine, and we want to make sure that they get so far in. So I'm going to pick this up, and we're going to move back over to the pasta machine, and I want you to see how we're going to put this through. Okay, that's how we're going through the pasta machine, and we're going to always go through the pasta machine the same way. Okay, now this is on a number 6, and I'm going to switch it back over to a number 7. See how I folded that over? I want this a little bit on the thicker side, so let me adjust that. Let's see if that works. Now let's see again. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to bring it through the pasta machine. And the white was being quite stubborn earlier, so I'm not surprised that it looks like it's breaking up a little bit, but it will blend in. See how I did that? Do not change directions. You want to continue to do it this way all the way through. Just like that. Now this takes quite a few spins through the machine, but I assure you it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful blend. And you're going to really like the colors once they come out. And you're going to keep pulling that through. It might get a little sticky. It's okay if it splits a little bit like that, and it's starting to look like it's all purple or fuchsia, and it's not. I want you to know that, and nor will it be. It's part of the blending process. And in a short period of time, I'm going to make sure that it was on the right one. It will indeed blend together. And it will look beautiful. They always do. You can see where the white is starting to come through now. And it kind of looks like, oh no, what have I done with my clay? And quite honestly, in a few minutes you'll see how beautiful it really, really, truly is. And colors mesh together beautifully. Especially these two colors. Make sure it's even as it's going through. Keep coming down here. As long as you hold it on there, you can go rather quickly. Look at this transition in the colors. And that's what you're looking for, that transition. And keep going through. Now right about now, I flip this like this. As long as your colors, your whites with your white, your fuchsia, your darker color is down here. That's what you get. You cannot put it back in like this. That'll just make it all one color. And you don't want one color, you want a blend. That's why it's called a Skinner blend. Okay? It's a Skinner clay. Judith Skinner, technically, is the person who has developed this. And lots of videos are on this. So once you find one, enjoy yourself, because you'll see so many different versions of it, and that's what it's all about. It's about making as many different versions of your talent as you possibly can. Has nothing to do with copying or stealing or cheating or anything like that, because if you're a true artist, you're going to come out with your own, and maybe it'll be called Trisha's blend, and Terry's blend, and Sherry's blend, because you will have created it, and it will turn into some piece and some technique that you've used in addition to your own. And that's what a true artist does. Makes art their own. And that's what you're going to do. And you're going to have fun, because polymer clay is really a lot of fun. And you just have to keep going. Keep going. Have faith it's going to change colors on you, because it will. It's becoming a different blend now as we speak. And quite honestly, if you truly wanted to, sometimes the darker color takes over that lighter color. Sometimes it doesn't. And you can always add to it. I mean, the perfect story would be that you didn't have to, but you can. If you'd like to have one side lighter, there's a technique that I can show you later. But for now, let's stick with our blend that we have going on, because it's a pretty beautiful fuchsia blend. A little bit of white turns it into like a pink. There we go. And it's coming out just fine. And then I'm going to show you how to make it into a cane. And eventually I'm going to show you how to make some beads, some pendants, other little treats. And this is a baking clay, so you have to bake it to make it hard. It's not one that air dries. So what you will do eventually is cover it up so that dust, dirt, and mildew does not get in on it. It protects it, but it won't dry. It'll only dry with heat. Let's see what we got going here on our next one. See if we can make a cane. Let's bring it over here now. Oh, we got a color going on there, and we've got some going on there. So I'm going to flip it over on this side, keeping light with light, dark with dark, okay? I'm going to send this through again. Let's see what we can squeeze out of there. Okay. We're going to go with this. Slide here. And I can continue to go further with this. There are some really beautiful, beautiful shades that can come of this. In fact, I still might do one more. That's the luxury of doing some of this stuff. You can get to change your mind. Do one more. There we go. There we go. It's a little bit more. Brush that off. So now we have this. So you're probably saying, what do we do with this? And I'm going to show you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, approximately in half. It doesn't have to be a full half. Whatever you like, whatever size you want. Now, with this particular one, I'm going to fold it. Dark with dark, light with light. But this time, I'm going to send it through the machine just like this, because I want it thinner instead of, I want it longer. And I'm going to go one down. I'm going to move my down. I'm going to go down one size. And I'm going to send it through again. And this is something you have to sort of test out, so to speak. There we go. Per your machine. Now, the next decision you need to make is, what do I want on the inside? Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at those colors. It's really beautiful. So you're going to have to decide, do I want the dark on the outside and the light on the inside? And I'm going to choose, I want the light on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to start way down here, and we got to make sure we don't have any air pockets. And this is how we do it. You want to gently squeeze them out and press that clay together in the beginning. That is how you get yourself a nice good roll. And you don't want to do it too quickly, and you want to try to make it even. You can cut the ends off later. See how that looks? And you just roll gently and you pull it in. And now I have a darker, and I have the real light pink inside, and I have the fuchsia outside. You're just doing a gently roll. And this is a cane. It's called a Skinner cane. And that's what that is. Now let me just sharpen it up. I'm going to hit like a little, make sure you're holding your blade properly. And what you want to do is just blend that in a little bit. If you see that crease right there, let's just smear that in a little bit. And now what you do is you roll just a little bit. Like that. See how already it's going away? And you don't want to squeeze it too much right now, because really all we're doing is closing up that gap. And you're just going to roll just a tiny bit. Now we have this and we have that. So what do we do with it? Very simple. I'm going to cut this off. Okay? And that has a very thick side because it's soft clay. Now, hopefully I can still continue to show you this without hardening up this clay. Do it quick, maybe that'll help. Yeah, that helps. Now you see there's a few little air bubbles in there, and they're going to be squeezed out. They're going to be squeezed together. And we're going to reduce this a little bit. And how you reduce and why? Well, this is kind of stubby. It's kind of large, and there's a reason for it. And then there's some reasons not for it. And I don't like this end. There we go. So, this is how we reduce. You push, you pull. Very gently though. Push, pull. And this, when you're reducing this, you're doing this with your fingers, not the table. You do it with the table, just a little bit, just to roll out your little handprints. But if you don't want to go woo, 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 because that's not going to work. It's not going to come out right. It's not going to look right. You're not going to be able to work with it. And there's a lot of things you can do with it. But this is truly a Skinner blend. And you can see where it's darker on the outside and it gradually gets lighter on the inside. Now you can reverse the other one and do the darker on the inside. And oftentimes when I'm doing some flowers, and you go like that a little bit, you can flatten that out. You'll do the opposites and then join them together and make a flower. You can make a pendant. There's a lot of things you can do with this. I'm going to show you one more tint technique, and it's shouldn't take too long. And I'm going to cut this and fold it, just like I did a moment ago. Okay, I'm going to put it back on my 7, just so you see here. Just happen to pick the light side down. You want to keep it nice and thin. I'm going to make this nice and thin. Now the clay is really warm right now, so typically now I'm going to move this 1, 2 down, okay? Typically when your clay is this, we talked about leaching, we talked about the refrigerator, and we also talked about just letting it sit. And those are the 3 things you want to talk about. Now I'm going to do this, you can do it even thinner, but because of how soft the clay is, I'm going to stop here so that I can still work with it. And this I'm going to fold up like an accordion, just like that. And you'll see that this is a different blend and it will produce a different cane. And I will show you in future videos what you can do with this cane. Okay, and really let me see if I can show you a better way how I'm doing this. I'll turn it over, and really what we're doing, so you can see, is folding it like an accordion, just like that. And you want to stay within your length. You know, this is what I've chosen, the width, and the length is a little bit on the actually shorter side. And that's because my clay is soft and I want to finish the video so you can see how the technique is done. And it's a little bit over on here, so I'm going to just cut this off like that. This is what you end up with, and this is what we're going to do with it. We're going to gently squeeze. We're going to squeeze this down, gently. Remember, gently. And we'll push up against here, we'll push up against here, just a little bit. And we're going to do it, see how the colors are meshing together? You got your dark into your light, turn it around, you have your light into your dark. And I'm going to take this trusty little tool I have here, it's just a piece of plexiglass. I'm going to gradually push it down. I'm not smashing it because that will distort it too much. The clay is very soft. It needs to be set so that you can cut it properly. And that's the same with the other cane as well. Keep in mind that the softer your clay is, when you go to cut it, it will smush down the lines and it will distort your cane. And that's not what you want. You want it to harden up a little bit, set up a little bit. You can put it in the refrigerator if you like. You don't have to for it to be manageable. But in Florida here, sometimes it's a necessity. At least I find that it is. I'll push those together. I'm going to slice it just so you can see a little bit of what it might look like if it had set for a while. And there you go. Now these little holes just need to be pushed in a little bit more. They're not really air pockets. They are and they're not. They're not balloons, little bubbles. They're just spaces between the lines. And that's because I don't want to play with this I don't want to reduce this too much, because the more I reduce it, the more it just blends together the way I don't want it to, because it's so soft. So, this is your 2 blends. And that's what a Skinner blend is. And that's what a Skinner cane is. So I hope you enjoyed the video. The next one, I will be trying to do a 3-color Skinner blend. And then we're going to see if we can get some beads together, some flowers together, and get y'all going on some polymer clay. Bye!